All right, we are live on Facebook, right, with my phone, right. It's a weird lighting, right, because I'm in a car, we're using light, right. It looks a bit awkward, but let's get started. Yeah. All right, so quick one, right? What happened was that tonight I had a dinner with my coaches, right? So I couldn't do it a bit earlier. I had an implementation sprint and briefing, a kickstart briefing as well, right? So all of that started from 6 p.m. all the way to right now it's about 11:30, right? I'm just on the way back home, but I just want to pause a little bit, just right to come on live, right? Just to share a little bit about my takeaways, right? And for today's lesson, right? For Mastery Monday, right? So guys, if you can see this, if you can hear this, just help me type yes in the chat, right? Just help me like this video. Hopefully more people get to watch it, right? And really, right, my focus, right, I just want to talk about one thing today, right? It's 11:40 p.m. right? It's 11:40 p.m. right? I'm still not even home, right? I'm not with my laptop, right? I'm not sitting out nicely with a nice background, with a nice prepared script, right? Honestly, right, openly, did I prepare a pretty structured script for tonight? No, I didn't, right? I did not, right? I see Sharon like in the video over there, right? So what happened, right? So why am I still live today despite the lack of preparation, despite not doing at my usual times of 9 p.m, 10 p.m, right? It's because of one thing, right? Right now, right, even my focus on Mastery Monday, I've done it for I think about 15 weeks already, about 4 months, right? Right now, I'm still mastering the art of showing up. Right, the thing is, a lot of people, right, they want to get things perfect, right? But the initial thing, right, is hi Sharon, right? So the thing is, a lot of people, right, they don't even master the art of showing up. You cannot even start trying to improve, right, or to drive or to optimize your performance if you do not even master the art of showing up. Which is why one of the key things I ask many of my coaches, right, I ask a lot of my coaches to get started is don't even focus on the likes, don't even focus on the content, don't even focus on whether will people show up or to watch or to engage in the first place. Because why? Right? You got to master the art of showing up. And only when you get it consistently, right? Yes, Jerry, you're showing up for sure. Love you. Alright. So only when you master the art of showing up, right? And then you start seeing how you can optimize, and then you start seeing how you can improve. Because the challenge with a lot of people is that they want to get everything perfect. They want to get everything done. They want to drive a lot of performance. They're upset when they don't have engagement, when less people are watching, right? But the thing is, if you did not master the art of showing up, even if you did not practice the act of committing, right? Even if you did not practice the habit, right? Then whatever you're trying to overanalyze to be perfect, right, goes down the drain. Right, so even tonight, right, the fact that I'm 11:40 p.m, I'm live right now, it's just me getting to make sure that I show up. Right, so a lot of people ask me, hey, could I have optimized my timings better for Mastery Mondays, right? Could I have done better timings, right? Could my content be a little bit better, right? Could I have structured a bit better? Should I have slowed down my speaking? Could I have been a bit more elaborate with my call to action, for example? I could, definitely 100%, right? But right now, my focus, right, because with all my other commitments and stuff, for Mastery Mondays, right, is just to make sure that I show up every single Monday, right, half an hour at least, right, or at most, right, my aim is half an hour, but sometimes if I do less, that's fine, but to master the art of showing up, right, and then to create as much value as I can, to create as much content as I can. But all this doesn't happen in a sustainable long term, right, if I don't focus on step number one. Right, which is right now, if you're trying to practice a habit, if you're trying to set new resolutions or trying to exercise at least 50 minutes, 45 minutes, 1.5 hours a week, for example, right, start small first, right? Instead of just trying to get the 1.5 to 2 hours of exercise, right, or trying to overload yourself, trying to finish a book by end of a week, right, is to just start small, to take that first action step. Right, so I think if you read, many of you might have read the book called James Clear, right, by Atomic Habits. I reread the book maybe about the 4th or 5th time earlier this week, right, last Sunday even. And what he did is, there was one of his clients, right, he was overweight and stuff, and one of the focus was getting to the gym. He set new resolutions for goals for himself, right, to be fit, to go to the gym. But the first thing James had him to do, right, wasn't even to go and gym, to exercise half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. The first thing, right, it was to actually, right, just get his ass to the gym, right, and he didn't have to work out. Right, I think it was 5 minutes of stuff every time. So for 3 to 5 times every week, right, all he had to do, right, when he woke up in the morning, right, was to wear his gym equipment, right, go wear his clothes and stuff, right, travel to the gym, walk around for 5 minutes, and then go back home. right? So people were saying it's ridiculous, right? What the hell is he wasting his time? But first, you master the act of showing up. You master the art of showing up before you do anything else. So even for myself, right now, Mastery Mondays, right? Sometimes I'm still meeting people for dinner. I still have plans. I'm still meeting people. I still have my own personal stuff going on. But I always make sure, no matter what, on Monday evenings, right, I show up live, right? Hopefully for half an hour, that's less is fine, right? Just to show and to give whatever value I can as much as possible, right? So if you are watching this right now, right, and if you are struggling, right, if you feel that you're struggling with your New Year resolutions, you feel like you might not be achieving the kind of things you want, you're afraid that you might not be able to commit, because research shows that by January 12th of every single year, right, there's a research done, right? I think I listened in radio, right? Is it verified? I have no idea, right? But I wouldn't be surprised if it's verified, which is January 12th, right? January 12th of every single year, right? That's when majority of people, they lose their New Year resolutions. They don't stick to their New Year resolutions anymore. They start going back to alcohol. They start going back to fried food and stuff, right? So something you want to watch out for. Right, something I want to watch out for is by January 12th, most people won't face their commitments, won't face their New Year resolutions, because why? They put in too much, right? Hi Henry, what's up? Hope everything is fine, yeah? Right? Hope everything is well. Hope your start of New Year is good, right? And so what happened is, most people, right, they give themselves too much expectations. They overwhelm, they overload themselves with unrealistic expectations of what could be a new year is, until they start overloading themselves, and that's why they don't follow up. So one thing you want to focus on, right, if this is a New Year resolution, right, if made for this quarter, for the half year, for the next 12 months, right, maybe it's not to go gym for 45 minutes or to 1 hour. Maybe it's not even to try to get the six-pack abs. Maybe, right, if you want to focus on the being instead of the achieving, right, even you have to focus more on the sustainable. What's up, Lightning Chase? New, what's up, Jie Kai? Right, doing pretty well, Henry. Right, just had a dinner with my coaches, right? Today was fun. Right, so one thing you want to focus on, maybe not so much on the goals, right? Maybe for this quarter, next 6 months, is just to say, right, at least 80% of the time, 90% of the times, right, I just want to show up. And what is in your definition of showing up? Right, maybe getting to the gym. Right, maybe getting to the gym, right, maybe getting to, maybe just walking to the gym and just exercising for at least 10 minutes, right, for me just doing a Tabata workout, at least a 7-minute workout for 3 times every week. So just start with the simple small things, right, and then move on to the big things, right. Just read at least 5 pages of a book, right, for example, right. Got 15 bowls ahead. Oh wow, so I guess I'll have a bit more time for the Facebook Live while I wait for the bowls to be ordered. Right, so I guess I have still a bit more time. So by the way, guys, if you have any questions you want to ask for New Year resolution, setting your goals, I heard some of you haven't done so yet in my community, right? I was talking to a couple of you. I realized some of you haven't set your goals or plans yet, right? I might be wanting to do a goal setting session for those who are just a bit behind, right? So if you have any questions, you want me to share anything, just let me know in the chat, right? While I talk a little bit more, right, before the bowls get ordered and I move on and drive back home. All right, so right, I just want to add on a bit more about showing up. So my take is, right, guys, a big implementable tip you can have, right, is just to show up, right, and just do the small step. Don't try to think of the whole mountain, right, when you're not even practicing taking the small little steps over there. Okay, so that's the one big lesson. Okay, number 2, right, how can I be accountable for the 75 hard, right? So what I can do is have a buddy. Right, you can have a buddy, right? I think Deborah, if you know she's in a community, you can talk to her about it, right? If not, you can share on social media and people will know. So 75 hard, right? You know what happened for me? I think for those who do not know 75 hard, right? It's a 75-day challenge, right, where you do a couple of things every day without any exceptions, without fail, right? And if you fail even on the 74th day, for example, you go back all the way day 1, right? So I think it's a mixture of having 2 workouts a day, 2 separate workouts a day, right? One of them must be outdoor and both of them must be at least 45 minutes. That's the first exercise. First thing to do. Number 2 is drink at least 4 liters of water a day, right? Number 3 is post a progress photo of yourself, right? Number 4, right, to follow a diet, right? That means to follow a diet, you can choose the diet you want. And number 5, no cheat meals, no alcohol, and no cheat meals. Yeah. So these are the 5 things, right? And what happens is there's an app, there's a book, there's all about it, right? And what happened is a lot of people, it's a bit too crazy and intense. And what happened, right? So Henry, I think you might want to listen to this. So the first day, remember, it was raining so freaking heavily in Singapore, right? And so what I did, I was trying to commit to it, right? So I swam in the rain. Right, I swam in the rain. I think about 15 minutes later, my girlfriend thinks it's 10, right? But we'll see, right? So about 15 minutes later, I was swimming in the heavy rain. It was going a bit crazy. I was sprinting a little bit. I had no goggles, so I was going a bit crazy, right? I was a bit out of breath and it was raining, so I couldn't even catch my breath when I was out of the water. So I stopped, right? I took a bit of rest and then I actually went to the gym. right? But I think what happened is the gym had aircon a little bit. I didn't dry myself fully. And so what happened is I had a fever later that night, right? After that, I think about 2 hours later, I still went for yoga. My temperature was actually about 34 degrees at one point of time, 34.5 degrees. So I was having a cold first, and then I had fever, right? And I think I had diarrhea and food poisoning and stuff. So the next day, right? So after that, the next day, I had fever again. I didn't feel very well. I didn't really operate at my full 100%. So obviously, I failed my 75 hard for the first 2 days. It looks like I'm gonna fail today as well. So I realized, right, for 75 hard, you must really freaking prepare and go intense, right? Because that's a very high bar. You fail at day 2, you go back down. It's 2 45-minute workouts, right? Who is that? Liking the post? Thanks for that, right? So what happened is, if you want to do intense exercise, you need to really do a lot of preparation. And like what Henry said, you can actually start small first, right? Danny, absolutely, right? Show up, absolutely. Alright, so what I do is for 75 hard, I think my big lesson learned is don't kill yourself, don't fall sick. Right? And number 2, you want to do a lot of preparation to make sure that you don't get affected. Okay, so that's for the 75 hard challenge, right? So for any of you who is checking out, right, it's hashtag 75 hard. You can go and Google it. So my take is, will I still be completing by end of this year? Absolutely, that's still my New Year goal, right? But I might want to do a bit more preparation and set a bit of context, right? So because what happened is next week I still have army, right? So I have no idea what's going to happen in army, right? And at the same time, yeah, that's going to be a bit crazy. And then I think at the same time for New Year, right? Chinese New Year, I think for some people might be a bit of a hit. So you might want to prepare yourself for such an intense exercise like 75 hard. Okay, the third thing I want to share about, right, for my implementation sprint, right? So I think some of you might have attended my 2-day workshop. If you haven't, right, you can DM me for a bit more details, right, for my 2-day workshop to make sure to extract whatever you learn from all the motivational programs, the self-awareness programs, right, the reading books, the Tony Robbins and stuff, to actually structure it into actual systems so you can implement it. So I have a Master Mentors 2-day blueprint workshop. If you want to find out more, you can DM me. But what happened is, as a bonus, right, for the people who have attended for the past 3 to 4 months, right, I've actually come up with an implementation sprint, right, for January, right, starting from this Sunday actually. Right, so what happened, I realized for most people, right, is that when they think about a sprint, right, so I was doing a briefing earlier today about 6 p.m, right, and I realized, right, that people weren't really primed or grounded, right, to actually be uncomfortable. Right, so what happened is uncomfortable because I introduced a whole bunch of stuff to make sure it's uncomfortable, that they actually got things done. If they didn't do it, they have a big ass forfeit. I had to approve the forfeit. So it's really me as someone who kicked their ass, right, for January to start their momentum for the rest of 2021. Right? So if any of you are interested, drop me a DM. I can share with you a bit more details, right, on how you can get it for free. It's a big bonus for one of the workshops I'm doing. So what happened is, right, I realized, right, a lot of people, right, they still haven't really internalized, right? Maybe it's more of a mindset thing or being thing. I'll talk more about that maybe in the next few weeks, right? Which is that if you really want to achieve the kind of results that the minority of people are achieving, right? That means you don't want to just settle for less. You want to actually go for more, right? What happened is most people aren't mentally prepared, right? Like I said, right, to actually take extraordinary actions, to take the uncomfortable actions, to be comfortable with discomfort, to actually achieve the goals that they want, right? So my thing is, guys, if you actually want big goals in life, right, you actually want the kind of income that you do, right, you want to settle for bigger than average life, right, you need to ask yourself and tell yourself, right, am I comfortable with being uncomfortable? Maybe at least for the next 3 years, maybe at least for the next 5 years, right? So I can have the comfortable life for the next 50 years. To really just mentally prepare yourself and say, okay, right, if I want 2021 to be my best year yet, to be my most achieved one yet, I need to make sure that 2021 is going to be an uncomfortable year, because you're not going to achieve the high quality of life, the kind of things that you want, if you're just going to settle for comfortable tasks. Right, so it's January, right? It's going to be a very uncomfortable task for a lot of people. There's my implementation sprint, right? Getting accountability buddy, right? Having forfeits, to achieve it, right? Because why? It's all designed to make them uncomfortable and to get them to take action to really achieve the kind of results that they want, right? So that's something that you got to ask yourself in terms of mindset is, if you want to achieve the kind of life that nobody else wants, that the majority of the world that does not have, you got to take actions that the majority of the world does not have. And that, if that means less Netflix, right? If that means maybe less sleep, maybe, right? Maybe for some people, right? If that means less slacking around the weekends, right? It means having less time to meet your friends, right? It means less time to slack around to just check social media all the time, right? You actually, right, got to mentally prepare yourself, right, to do all this, right, if you want to actually achieve the goals of your life, right? So guys, if you agree with me, right, if you're watching this, I have 10, 15 of you, right, just simply type yes if you agree with me, right, that you're actually willing to take the uncomfortable actions to actually show up, right, to actually push yourself a little bit, stretch yourself a little bit, challenge yourself a little bit if you're willing to achieve the kind of results in life that you want. Okay, right, so that's my third thing, right, is about, right, the implementation sprint, right? Hi Avril, I see yes, that's great, right? And yeah, so that's number 3, right? So guys, like I said, if you have any questions again, right, that you want to ask, right, if anything that you want me to help you answer, right, I'll be more than happy to answer them, right? If you have any questions, right? And yeah, it's 11:54 p.m. 6 more minutes, right, before we go to midnight, before we complete the 4th day, right, of the new year, right? So that's pretty much it. Okay, all right. So, right, the next thing, right, I think in my mind that I just want to add on, and just to remind many of you, right, right now is most of you are still what I say, right, haven't gotten what I call that holistic perspective, right, that holistic perspective of achieving the kind of life that you want, right? So let me explain. So most people, right, when they actually set goals in life, most of them just think of one thing, which is wealth, I mean, right? They just think of the investments, they think of business, they think of career, they think of personal finance, right? And so the big challenge with that is, right, even if you achieve your wealth goal, right, so actually, right, just to share a bit openly, right, and this something happened about maybe August, right, maybe about August or September last year, right? So last year when the stock market spiked up, right, I mean spiked down, right, I was achieving record profits because I was buying put options and stuff, right? And what happened was I was feeling damn good about myself, right? I was achieving some good solid returns in terms of my investments, in terms of my stocks, right? I was feeling pretty good, right, until about, I think, August or September, right? I remember I was still celebrating with Rash, with Kay, some of the guys, and I was feeling good, right? I was having dinner, I was looking at portfolio, I was like, wow, like what kind of progress was that? And that was about May or June even, right? But I think sometime about August or September, right, what happened was, right, when I started looking at my investment results, right, I surpassed a 6-digit goal, right? I did pretty well. It was an all-time high for many periods. I had stocks that were going multi-baggers and stuff, right? I actually realized that I stopped feeling so happy, right? Not because I wasn't happy as a person, right? But I wasn't as high as I was. I wasn't as feeling as overjoyed, right, when I was seeing my all-time highs, right? I was wondering why the hell was that? Is it because I didn't cherish money? No, I wasn't, right? I still understand the importance of money. I still understood the importance of my financial returns for my life, right? But I just wasn't feeling that kind of like happiness, right? When I was looking at my investment results, right? And why? Right, I mean, there are a lot of reasons for that, right? Number one, is it because I was so used to high returns? Maybe, right? But I think the more accurate reason for myself was because, right, I felt that in other areas of my life, I was feeling way more fulfilled, right? I was feeling way more excited. I was feeling way more driven, right? Because I was actually out there contributing to a life. I was actually focusing on my health, my energy levels, right? I was feeling actually, I was actually focused more on other intangible, my relationships, my meeting partners, right? Investing in X Factor Mastermind to learn new skills, right? I was more excited about that, right, than just earning pure money, right? So maybe some people might say maybe I'm being complacent and all. I don't know, right? But I think in part of me just felt that yes, investments was good, is important, right? It's something that I will still continue to focus on to grow my income, to grow my wealth, so I can achieve the kind of life that I want. But I realized, right, that investing itself is not going to bring me much joy eventually, right? That in terms of intrinsic joy, right, maybe not so much. Maybe in terms of external, of course, I've my net worth is higher, right? I've got higher returns, my stocks are good, I look good in front of people, maybe, right? But I think in terms of intrinsic, right, it's more on, are you taking care of yourself, right? Do you really feel fulfilled in what you do, right? Are you really caring about the people? Are you just spending quality time and with the people that you really love? All right, I think those are way more important for your overall long-term health, fulfillment, and joy, right? Instead of just focusing on the money, which is investing. So I think a lot of people, I think I will start to understand, we'll start to realize that, hey, right, yes, investment is important. I'm doing pretty well. I'm aiming for my 100% return for 2021 for some people, 200% even, right? Whether it's realistic or not, I'll talk about it another night, right? But most people just focus on that, right? Instead of actually achieving a true life. So even if you achieve all-time high after all-time high, right? One thing you want to remind yourself that it doesn't mean that you'll be very happy and fulfilled. So you want to start focusing more on maybe self-care, right? Meeting with friends, right? Have spending time with your loved ones, right? And contributing to society, giving, right? Like what Team Resh talks about as well, right? Like Wei Jie also gives to food every Wednesday, right? So what you do is focus more on the things that bring you intrinsic joy, right? And that really brings you happiness in life. And that's something that I share from personal experience, because I was feeling so confused, like why wasn't I feeling good about myself? Why wasn't I feeling very happy? And it wasn't because I was really angry or stuff. It was just because I realized that I was feeling so much more excited and fulfilled than my life's work. And one quote I just want to bring an end before I answer one more question by Henry, right, is that your job, right, is the biggest vehicle for your personal development, right? Your job, right, is your biggest vehicle for your personal development, right? So don't ever think that your job is just something you want to set aside, right, for something else that you hate, right? But eventually, right, guys, your job, right, is your biggest time, right, for a personal, your biggest vehicle for personal development. Okay, so guys, I think I'm running off. I think Henry asked a very simple question, right? Do I think everybody start investing is just for certain people? I feel that investing is for everyone, right? Maybe some people don't have to focus on it so much, right? But eventually, investing has been for everyone, whether it's ETFs, options, and stuff. But trading is not for everyone. Right, trading is definitely not for everyone, right? Investing, I feel, is for everyone, right? But the level of investment and time and focus you want to put on investing, right? So Sharon, I'm here already, waiting for you, right? But for the rest, right, guys, right? Investing is for everyone, right? But it just depends how much activity do you want to put in, right? Trading, on the other hand, right? Trading, on the other hand, isn't for everyone, in my opinion, right? Like for me, I don't like to do active trading, right? Yes, I do charts and stuff just to be a bit more active, right? But that's just my simple opinion. All right, so Henry, right? I hope that answers your question. With that, guys, I'm out, right? And let's see who is over here. Hi. Okay, right. So anyway, we end our Facebook Live, and we'll see you guys very soon. See you guys next Monday for Mastery Mondays, right? Hope to see you guys soon. Drop me a DM if you're interested in workshop, right? And good night, everybody. Oh, it's right now midnight, just nice.